The tuner string is really loose on this, so I'm having to tune it by putting tension on the string. And you can see how far off this station is supposed to be 88.1, and we're way down here, probably around 87. This is a very strong station, and we're only getting signal strength over here at about 25%. I think the RF amplifier, the FET in the front end, may be getting a little tired. So I'm going to replace that because not only is the signal strength loose, I am not getting stereo on anything. So I believe that may be the problem. I even put my generator on there and put a really strong signal in. I'm just not getting stereo. I may try one more thing, but I'm definitely committed at this point to replacing that FET to see if it straightens out our problem. Alright, so I'm supposed to be able to set my signal generator to between 3 and 5 microvolts and get a good stable signal at the lower end of the FM band, and I have not changed the FET out. I looked at the FM stereo because no matter how strong a signal I pumped in, I was unable to get stereo. And it looked like somebody had been in here tweaking some of the transformers, so I was able to get that straightened out, and I'll talk about that later. Right now, I am going to change that FET out because even with 15 millivolts, I don't have a very strong signal. If you look here, you can see it's tearing a little bit at the top. And if I adjust it here, you'll see it just doesn't really get good. We should be able to get something that looks like that between 3 and 5 microvolts. If I put it down to 5 microvolts, you can see we barely got anything. So I am going to change that FET out, and then I'll talk to you about what I found with the multiplex not working and how I determined where the problem was. And then I'm going to have to tighten up this tuner string. I don't think I have to replace it, but it's certainly loose. It's as loose as a pair of granny panties. I mean, look at this string here. That I have to put pressure on this just to get it to tune. So let me replace that FET. What I do is I take the wheel off the tuner, duct tape it here, and then I can lift the board up to change out the FET. The FET is right down in there. I do have some replacements on hand. So I'm going to do that and see if we get a better signal in here. So I changed the RF amplifier FET in the front end. It helps some, not that much, but I found, like right now I'm at 8 microvolts input into the antenna terminals, and I have a little bit of tearing. I thought it was worse, but my LED bench light, as you can see, puts a little bit of fur on the traces here. If I turn that off, it looks a bit better. I learned a lot about alignment by watching X-Ray Tony B's channel. He's got a lot of really good helpful hints and tips on technique for aligning tuners. But if I go, and I'm at 87 megahertz now, so at the low end you adjust inductors, high end capacitors. So I got my tweaker in here, and by the way, you want it to tear just a little bit at the top and bottom equally. Now ideally you have no tearing at all, but if I drop down to 6 microvolts, you'll see we have tearing more at the top than the bottom. So we just want it to be equal. Ideally you should have sensitivity between 3 and 5 microvolts. This one's not that great, but it's a lot better. And I'll tell you what I found. Here's an issue when you are dealing with vintage equipment, stuff that's as old as this is. You're probably not going to be the first person in, and maybe not the second, third, or fourth. Somebody got in here and they had a problem and they started tweaking around in the tuner. I found a lot of adjustments that were way off. And one of the main things that was causing me not to get stereo and to have low signal strength was this transformer right here. On the schematic, I have to confess I'm not that proficient at FM troubleshooting. So what I was getting was no stereo, no matter how strong signal I pumped in. So I decided what I was going to do. I was going to take a look at what turns on the stereo lamp. And if we look at the data sheet, we'll see pin 6 here feeds the stereo indicator lamp. One side of the lamp ties to the power supply, so we're going to be sinking current in here. And when I check the voltage, I have 9.7 volts here. This is what you're going to get when you have a mono signal. And I also looked at the data sheet to see what controls that, and that comes from this DC amplifier internal to the chip and pins 8 and 9 here, which have a low pass filter. That's these pins here, and you see this is our low pass filter. It's a 0.22 microfarad nonpolar electrolytic, but this is what really got my attention. H303 is our stereo switch. And the tip-off for that is that we have 2 voltages here, 2 voltages here. So when we have one of these voltages on the top, we'll have mono. When we have the one on the bottom, we'll have stereo. And that is fed from here. This goes down to the mono stereo switch on the front panel. And this J306 comes from down here and comes from the IF board. And I started working my way back here. What I discovered was there just wasn't enough voltage at this transistor here. See where we have 2 voltages again? This is the stereo switch on the IF board. This other board over here is the multiplex. That got me looking back further. And when I got here to the IF transformer, I measured my DC voltage here. See this diode, these 2 diodes here? We're going to have a DC voltage here. And I had about 1.2 volts with a decently strong signal in. So I adjusted this transformer until I peaked it with a good strong signal. And I got about 3.3 volts. Almost 3 times what I had. And then I found, once I had done that I was able to get stereo. Not only that, they must pick off the signal strength meter from in here somewhere, because I also got a lot stronger signal on my meter. So I'm getting a lot of stations in stereo now. Signal strength looks good, and I should have realized this, because even though the signal strength meter was low, I was getting decent signals on stronger stations. Now I did go through the alignment and it made a difference. I'm picking up more stations now, but the big problem was right here. Somebody got in, they started tweaking it, and you not only have to know what you're doing, and I confess I don't always, but you have to have the proper test equipment. You need an RF generator. You need to be able to have a stable signal so you know what you're tweaking. Over-the-air signals may work for some things, but for something like this, the level would be going up and down. You would really never know when you had it properly peaked. So this, I think, was probably the main problem. Somebody had gotten in here and tweaked this. I'm picking my signal off here at a 47K resistor R257, and that I reset it back to where it was. It was about 1.1 volt. I had very low signal strength on the meter on the front, and I'm using a Simpson here. Even though a Simpson has a very low input resistance, it says right on the front here 20,000 ohms per volt. So for each volt on the range, you have 20,000 ohms between your test point and ground. Now, depending on the circuit, that may foul up your readings, but remember, we're not looking for an absolute value. We are looking for a peak here. So the Simpson will work fine for this. On the 2.5 volt range, we're looking at 50K to ground. It's not going to upset the circuit that much, and even if it is, we're only looking for a peak. We're not looking for an absolute value, so we really don't care. So I've got it on the 2.5 volt range, and it's probably going to peg out, and we'll have to go up to the 10 volt, but we're looking for a peak. So we adjust the IF transformer till we get a peak. And you can see it climbing here. And we've reached the end of our range. So I'm going to go in the 10 volt range. Continue to adjust, watching for it to peak. I just peaked about right here. You can use your digital for this, and initially I did, but for peaking or nulling, you can't beat an analog meter. And I like having one on my bench. This thing has found failed transistors that my Fluke didn't find. It'll catch leakage that your digital meter won't pick up. So this is about peaked right here. And I want to talk to you about alignment. I am not that experienced with alignment, and I have to admit a lot of times I'm just following the steps, but having to troubleshoot this from the stereo lamp back gave me a far greater understanding of what I'm actually doing. And when we get to that step in the alignment on this, I thought it was only for the meter, but it's not. It actually feeds the multiplex stage. It turns our stereo on and off. So it's very important that you understand what you're doing. I have gone through the steps before, and you can get a successful alignment if everything is okay. But if it's not, it really helps to understand how the circuit works. So now that I've done that, we have a much greater signal strength. On the meter, we get stereo when we have a stereo signal input. And I want to talk briefly about test equipment. Like I said, it's very important you know its attributes and its limitations. In this case, its limitations don't matter. I like being able to see a peak on an analog scale, but we can use the digital for this. So I'll just connect that just to give you an idea. If it's all you have, it'll work fine. So this is our peak, and having a signal generator with stable input signal is a big help, because you see our digits aren't jumping up and down a lot. So there it's going down, so we want to turn it back the other way, and yeah, that's about our peak there, 3.1, 3.12. Yeah. So you can use your digital meter for this. Like I said, when peaking and nulling, I just kind of like to have the analog meter. It's easier to see. So I'm going to show you the front of this thing. I still have the tuner string off, and that's great because it makes it a lot easier to go up to each end. Just zap, zap, zap. And I have my signal generator set up to do an increment. The manual says that we want 87 megahertz to 109. And if you set the increment on this unit, all you have to do is hit the increment button. It'll go between those 2 points. It's really handy. So I'm going to show you. Okay, that is my signal generator. And we have no antenna on here right now. Let's get it so you can see the meters and the stereo light. I'm going to turn that off so we don't get any kind of copyright infringement. You can see we got major signal strength. I don't have an antenna hooked up to this either. And we have our stereo light. And if I tune it, you can see it goes off, comes on. So that was the problem with our FM strength and our stereo. So if I tune it like this, you can see we've got great reception, and it's hard to do because I'm not using the tuner. I'm just turning the shaft manually on the tuning capacitor. But that was most likely the whole problem. Once I tweaked that transformer or the coil, I was able to get a lot more output out of this, and I'm able to get stereo. Somebody was in here. So I'm going to go through the entire alignment, and then I'm going to take a look and see if the phono stage is okay. All right, so I've got this thing all back together. We got our switch replaced, we got our broken pot replaced, we got the FM working. There was nothing wrong with the phono stage, and everything's working. So I'm going to sign this video off here. I thank everyone for watching, and as always, I like giving back to the community that's given me so much. Thanks a lot, folks.